So you're ready for change. Well, guess what? On this podcast, we're going to be talking about two different things. When it's time for change, and it's going to happen regardless, and the transformation, and I am your guy that is going to be with you every step of the way. Now, if you're looking for someone that is completely professionally done, that might not be it. We got one sign, and it says Staying Fearless. I am Joseph McMahon. I have a mic in my hand, and I am going to tell you the story behind this and why I went through transformation. I am still going through transformation. It's been 2 years. And we're just going to give you the freaking honest whole story. Now, transformation never gets easy. Every single day you're going to want to go back to the old doors. Every single day you're going to want to peek back to chapter 1 that you just got back from. See old friends. See how people are doing. Guess what? They're still freaking doing it. They never changed. And in this story, we are just going to do a deep dive of maybe what I went through, and hopefully this transforms to you. Now, change is inevitable. It's going to happen. But guess what? Wherever you put your energy, it's going to go. I was living one of the most miserable lives in the whole entire world. No, not really. There's actually people that have it worse than me. But whenever you are going through it, it feels like you are going through the worst thing in the world. Your best friend just died. Your grandma just died. You just lost your job. You want to lose weight. You don't know how. The list goes on. Well, guess what? The transformation is here, and you are going through it because that is the reason why you clicked on this video. There's a couple things on this topic. I like to be straightforward and not waste your time because your time is valuable. And this is the thing. Whether it's change, you have to go all in on this thing. Because if you procrastinate it, it's just going to be lingering. It's one of the most difficult things in the world. Whenever I was not ready for change, but I knew I had to change. You see, I was always about 180 growing up my whole life. Well, in high school and then a little bit after, and I was always lifting weights. I was always running, and these were the things that gave me the complete happiness. But I got into a field off and on for about 6 years of doing construction. I had about 30 different jobs, whether a lot of it in meantime was construction, but these things were medical billing and coding. These things were working for dealerships. These things were working for tire shops. These things were doing roofing, decking, the list goes on. Yes, I was wanting to test everything in the world because I knew that change was going to happen, and I knew that I wanted to give my all. But in the back of my mind, I really wanted to do two things. That was work out every day and be a life coach. Am I still a life coach? Well, I'm working towards that today. That is the reason why I have the Instagram. So actually check that out. We post daily if you want daily inspiration. And the thing is that I did not pay any attention to this. I let go completely for 2 years. I went to the darkest, deepest depression that I ever went to, and I was drinking every single day. Therefore, I had no energy to do anything other than just binge eat horribly, watch TV, go to a job that I hated, sit in construction where it was 105 degrees outside during the summer, and eat out 3 times a day for fast food. Probably bean and cheese tacos in the morning with a sweet tea. Lunch would be, I wanted to get out the heat, so I was eating every single fast food that you could think of. And then at nighttime, I was either going to eat fast food again, maybe pizza on the way home, or if not, make something that was very fattening, and I was going to have some cake or ice cream afterwards. Yes, I hit an all-time low. Now, maybe you might see yourself in me, or maybe you just don't. But you have to relate in some way. Maybe your thing is alcohol. Maybe your thing is binge eating. Maybe your thing is not exercising. Maybe your thing is not putting yourself first. But that is going to change after this episode. And, so I wasn't putting myself first, or I was really just going through life for anything that had a lot of I was never consistent. I was never showing up for myself. If it took too much effort, I was not going to do it. And I don't know why, but I just felt like it was easier, which actually led to be the hardest thing in my life. You see, at this time period, it felt never ending of just horrible traumas and going home, binge watching any single show that I did not even care for. It gave me no inspiration. It gave me no happiness afterwards, but we get in this loop. You see, change happens whenever we want it to happen. You see, change happens whenever we go all in. And whenever we change, guys, go for the end result. Tony Robbins always says that you have to see what the end looks like. God always says that he will give you the vision, but he won't show you how to get there. Now, your plan is how to get there. And what happened all these times is that I was getting overwhelmed because I would see the Z. I saw the finished product where I wanted to be. But I was at A. And guess what? I knew I had to go to B. What was B for me? 2 things. Look for a new job and get a gym membership. Okay, fine. Let's get a gym membership. The next day I get the gym membership. You see, action has to happen today. If it doesn't happen today, then it will be the next week, then the next week, then the next day, then the next day. We're talking to me and you. Consistency is key, but honestly, if we keep talking to ourselves and we're going to change today or tomorrow, we're going to have a good meal right now, we're going to change tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes around. You'd stop listening to yourself because you don't believe in yourself because you said that you're going to do it for so many times already. Come on now. And so, yes, I got the gym membership. And I was shopping at Goodwill at the time. And these clothes, yeah, they're cool for, I guess, everyday things. But whenever they would get wet, they were like all down here and stuff. So I would go to the gym. I was already embarrassed to go in there. I didn't have any clothes. I didn't have anything that looked good. And I was going in and I would be there for freaking I promise you, my first day I was there for 5 minutes. I was so overwhelmed. I was so self-conscious. I felt like everybody was staring at me. And realistically, everybody was there just to get themselves better. They're honestly probably like, wow, this guy is starting his journey. I remember that I was there at that point. So I didn't think about it like that. I didn't think about that perspective. I thought about, wow, everybody's freaking judging me. So for the first week, guys, I went every single day for about 5 to 15 minutes. Then after that, it would be 20 minutes. Then after that, it maybe 30 minutes. And then after about 2 months of investing in myself, eating better, changing my diet, buying new clothes so I felt more confident, I was getting in there a little bit better. And then I invested in supplements. Really, the only thing that I was taking was pre-workout. Never took pre-workout in my life. And I was like, wow, I still have the same job even though it's 105 degrees outside. I'm going to take this pre-workout and I'm going to freaking kill it in the gym. So that's exactly what I was doing, man. And it was horrible for like 3 months. And then 6 months later, I finally got a new job. But I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. You see, during this time, right before whenever I was going through the worst time of my life, I was also drinking every single weekend. You see, I was eating as horrible as I can during the weekend, binge watching TV, not doing anything for myself other than cleaning my apartment every single day, making sure that I had a nice haircut, and taking out the trash at my apartment. That was literally it. And I guess cooking for myself. And if I didn't feel like cooking, then I was going to go buy some fast food. During the weekends, on a Friday night, I was going to drink about an 18-pack with my friends that me and my friends thought that we wanted to do anything and everything in the world, but never got the courage to do it because we were sitting there and we were talking about the things and drinking instead of actually going for it. And we were talking about old memories instead of creating new ones. Now, these guys were some of my best friends. They still honestly are, but at that time frame, I thought that maybe they could help me, but realistically, you can only help yourself, man. You know exactly what you want. You got to go after it. And so I started doing a deep dive in all this time of listening to people who I wanted to be, and I made a plan of who I wanted to be 5 years from now. Who would be my hero? How would he look like? How would he talk like? How would he act like? What would he be driving? And how do I get there right now? That can be extremely overwhelming, but guess what? The plan is going to be executed as long as you take every single day. I started saying, okay, well, how does this benefit me? Does this benefit me to get at this plan? Okay, it's not, then that must mean it's a freaking side quest. I'm not going to do it. I went ghost for absolutely 6 months and probably a little bit more. I see my friends about 3 times a month. 3 to 4 times a year. Sorry about that. And it's still one of these journeys that I'm completely transforming my life. You see, the people don't talk about that 20s is one of the most difficult things in our life because we're not where we want to be yet. And truthfully, 3, 2, 1, we're not where we want to be at. We're not making nearly as much money as we want to be at. We're not maybe living in our dream desire spot. And all of our friends are going through the same thing of becoming who they want to be. So that is extremely overwhelming and really could be a lot to a lot of people. But this change knew it had to be done, and so I started seeing things that I wanted to do. I wanted to be a marathonist. Ran a marathon with no training. Now, do I tell you to do this? No, bro, don't do this. But I kept saying, man, I'm going to hold off. I signed up and freaking ran with only running 2 times that year. I think that that's something that I did. What is something that you can do and something that you can do today? You see, whenever I got that gym membership, it changed my life. Now, what would bring value to your life? Okay, maybe you want to start running. How do you start running? Yes, we can do a deep dive of how not to get injured. Yes, we can look up of what clothes do I need to do to start running. But the number one thing is to start going to your nearest middle school, nearest high school, maybe even nearest park, and start walking. Start walking while you have these podcasts in your ear instead of sitting in front of the TV watching how to run or watching how to walk. Start with walking. Research your shoes while you are walking, and start listening to them. Then eventually you buy your shoes. Then eventually you start seeing all these people that you want to be out there. You see how they run, you see how they talk, you see what they wear, you see the awesome glasses, you see the awesome shirts, you see the awesome shorts. And so then maybe you start buying them because now you're around people that you want to be. You see, change happens regardless whether you want it or not. So go towards the direction. They're going to both take effort. It's going to take effort to do everything that you don't want to do, and it's going to take effort and the same effort, maybe a little bit more desirable too, though, of going towards the plan that you want to go to. Change will always happen, but we have the choice to either go for it or not. You see, this is my first podcast that I'm actually doing, and I knew that I have work in literally 30 minutes, but this was going to be more important because this is the change that I need in my life. This is what I want to do with my life. This is going to come first before my job. I knew that I want to get in the best shape of my life. I ran this morning and I lifted shoulders this morning. Do I look swole? Maybe not, but we're going to get there soon. And I have a sense of direction. What in your life is missing that needs to be there? But not only that, your energy goes where you want it. You see, I see where I need to improve in, but I also name 5 things that I'm grateful for right now as well. Change will always happen, but the thing is that you got to put your energy towards something. What happens if I don't change? What happens if I just stay the same? What happens if I never go after the thing that I wanted? Will I be able to live with myself? Will I live with regret my whole life? What was I destined for? And we all know truthfully deep down, but what happens is that whenever we start going after the things that we wanted in life, we get no gratification, then we think that something's wrong. But whenever we go after something that we really want and then we get that instant gratification, we're like, yes, you know what? I am doing something right. But see, these things are okay because we want that instant gratification, but I know in the long run that this is going to pay off. It only takes one post, one podcast, something will freaking blow up. And whenever you get that instant gratification, yeah, it took all this stuff because we're planting these roots. But you feel like you're buried, but realistically, you have just been planted. You are planted these deep roots. Because whenever you really do have all this success, you've already been studying. You've already been going after the things you wanted in life. You've already realized what you wanted in life. You already realized what you're going to do with your life, that whenever it finally happens and that moment happens, you are being ready for it this entire time. You've been practicing this entire time. You go up to a test and you're ready for change. If you don't know what the direction that you're going to, it won't happen. And guess what? You'll just be a little bit here, a little bit there, a little bit there. You need to know exactly what it was. You need to give all your energy towards this one thing. Change is going to happen, but make sure that it's going to go on the direction that you finally freaking want. And I promise you that you will be blessed. I'm Joseph McMahon. Stay fearless on this channel by getting out of our comfort zones and going for the things that we really want in life. I believe that you can do anything in life as long as you have a plan. You set the direction and you start walking towards it, because if you don't have a plan, man, you are lost a long time ago, baby. And just know that this is going to be one of the loneliest chapters in life. This is going to be one of the most horrible, because you're going to want to look at that other door that has already been closed. You see, from chapter 1 to chapter 2 is crazy because you're not in chapter 2 yet and you're not in chapter 1. So you kind of want to go back to chapter 1 because you haven't got no gratification yet. But guess what? Chapter 2 is waiting for you, and that is your best chapter yet. Keep going. Keep striding for success. I'll see you on the next pod. If this gave you any single value, please like, comment, subscribe, and let me know down below in the comments. What did you like about this? What made you grow from this? What will you do differently in your life? And what do you want to have me do next time? I'll see you on the next one, and as always, stay fearless. Peace out.